This conference will now be recorded.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Doug Smith. It's Thursday at 2:30, so it's time for our last podcast of the week. Uh, I enjoy these podcasts. I'm always a little bit sad when Thursday rolls around, but I know we'll be back on Monday. And I tell you, I'm feeling pretty good. I got all the letters out to Attorney General Pam Bondi and all the folks over at the Bureau of Prisons and all the chiefs of staff and the copies that go out. Uh, that's all done. They'll get them probably tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then Monday, because I'm just outside of Washington D.C. and they're just going into Washington D.C. So they should get them. They should get them tomorrow. But anyway, they're all out in the mail. I'm pretty excited about that. Uh, on the screen in front of you is one of the graphics that we prepared for Attorney General Pam Bondi. Uh, uh, I like this graphic a lot. And this is a graphic that we call the FDA genocide. Um, and one of the things that I struggle with, okay, the FDA genocide, is it 4 million dead or 5 million dead? Okay, um, do we only include the people who died from a catastrophic cardiovascular event, or do we include both the people that died from a catastrophic cardiovascular event and the overdose deaths? If you only include the people who died from a catastrophic cardiovascular event, it's about 4 million. If you throw in the overdose deaths, it's about 5 million. But either way, we're talking about a staggering number, a number that just is unprecedented. Okay, the Jewish Holocaust of World War II was 6 million. Okay, we're at 5 million. I mean, we're right there. Okay, all the deaths of all the U.S. wars combined is about a million. Okay, COVID was about a million. HIV/AIDS hasn't even crossed the million death mark yet. Okay, and it's mind-boggling what actually killed these people. Okay, it was a bureaucracy. Okay, what I'm calling bureaucratic imperialism, where the bureaucracy becomes more important than the mission. And that's what happened here. The bureaucracy became more important than the mission. And the three bureaucracies that we're identifying are HHS, NIDA, National Institute of Drug Abuse, and well, actually, let's expand it to four: HHS, Health and Human Services; NIDA, National Institute of Drug Abuse; CDC, Center for Disease Control; and the FDA, Food and Drug Administration. Although the FDA is by far the most responsible, uh, but that's where we're calling this the FDA genocide. We're not calling it the CDC genocide. We're not calling it the HHS genocide. We're not calling it the NIDA genocide. We're calling it the FDA genocide. And the letter that we just sent off to Attorney General Pam Bondi, we've identified the three individuals in that letter that we feel are worthy of consideration for criminal negligence charges. Okay, and it's just insane that we should even have to be referring these people to the Attorney General for consideration of criminal negligence. But the reality is, there is no mechanism in place to discipline these people. Okay, that's one of the problems with the bureaucracy, is there's no mechanism in place to discipline these people. Okay, the oversight of a bureaucracy is minimal at best. Okay, the oversight supposedly comes from the legislative branch and the executive branch, but for the most part, nobody's overseeing these bureaucracies. Okay, now they're established to have a purpose, and the purpose of the FDA was the safety of the U.S. public. That was the purpose of the FDA, was the safety of the people. Okay, they're they're that's not even a consideration for the FDA anymore. Okay, they now are so huge and so large that they pretty much set their own agendas, and that's what happened here. Was the agenda of Dr. Rigoberta Roca was not the safety of the American people. The agenda of Dr. Rigoberta Roca was to push the dog food that is the dopamine theory of addiction, um, and that's what he did in his position. Uh, we will go into this in depth in the book, And that this is a lot of what the book is about. The good news is, okay, while it's exceedingly difficult to hold the bureaucrats accountable, we'll do our best. Okay, we'll get the names over to the Attorney General and we'll try to build some pressure and see if we can hold these people accountable. The good news is holding the manufacturers and distributors accountable is pretty straightforward. Okay, because they have a duty to warn, and this is what's called a failure to warn. Okay, it's either and they have to warn the public about things that they know or should have known. Okay, and go back and look at all the scientific articles that we had on the graphic yesterday. Okay, that's known science, so it certainly falls in the category of things that they should have known. Okay, just because they were in the car with the psychiatrist driving over the cliff, it doesn't give them an excuse for ignoring the science. Okay, and yeah, unfortunately, just because you ignore something, it doesn't go away. Just because you ignore something, it doesn't go away. They ignored the science, but the science didn't go away. And so it's a pretty straightforward failure to warn. Now, this will have huge impacts on pharmaceutical companies down the road. Okay, and maybe Congress or the executive branch, maybe somebody will limit the size and the scope of these bureaucracies. But I'm not holding my breath for that. So if we can hold some of the individuals to be accountable, at least we can name the names. Okay, they may never face justice, but at least we can name the names. That's one of the advantages of the book. We get to name the names. Those names will be out there, and I will be very detailed in the book of exactly what they did. We have a lot of information. Okay, we've been interacting with the FDA since September of 2022. We have almost 3 years of interactions with the FDA. We've begged these people. We've begged them to stop the dying. And they basically laughed in our faces. They made fun of us. And that's going to come back on them. Okay, because we begged them to do the right thing. We begged them to follow the science. And they didn't. They took the opportunity to, poke fun at me, poke fun at us, treat us like we're, a bunch of a bunch of wackos. But again, I state we're the ones following the science, not them. We will hold here for today. That's the end of our podcast for the week. Unfortunately, we won't be back until Monday at 2:30. But I want to thank everybody that listens. I want to thank Alex for everything that he does. This podcast wouldn't happen without Alex. Don't forget to like and subscribe to us. Don't forget to post this podcast on your social media and everybody else's social media. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you back Monday at 2:30. Bye-bye now.